Every year I do a Misogi challenge. A Misogi is an ancient Japanese practice. What it was back then was a purification and a spiritual development challenge task. Nowadays you hear it being done by endurance athletes, entrepreneurs, folks who are looking for a challenge. And the way that I understand the Misogi, it's a challenge, likely physical, that a person does once a year that is meant to bring good fortune for the rest of the year. It's meant to be a challenge that will cause you to face your fears, your weaknesses, and dig as deep as you possibly can into your own being and your own essence to try to overcome it. It's supposed to be something that you have a 50% chance of actually finishing. It's up to the person to decide what is the struggle or the quote-unquote suffering that they have to put themselves through to achieve this challenge. And for me, it was cycling this year. I had one goal, and that was to cycle the entire distance of the state of Colorado from east to west, start in Kansas, cross the Continental Divide, conquer the Rockies, and end in Utah. I had to figure out how I was going to get from one end to the other. I had to improvise a lot, and I knew that going into it. So I had to recruit a support team. Shout out to my mother and my tia, because they were team captains on a journey like this. And of course, the mascot, my Portuguese water dog, Rumi, he was along the ride the whole time. We had to pack the car with fuel, with extra tools, maps, medical supplies, first aid kits.
The logistics behind something like this is probably as hard as actually doing it.
All right, day before, come on bike with me. We were ready to rock. Because we were starting on one edge of the state that I personally don't live in, we had to drive 3 hours from Denver to the border of Kansas and Colorado the day before the journey was scheduled to start. So we ended up getting to the border pretty late, maybe about 11 or midnight.
Welcome to Kansas. We made it.
We stayed in a place called Goodland, Kansas. I had to get there, get my bike ready, because I needed to start early in the morning. Knowing that day one was going to be the longest day from a mileage standpoint. The first day ended up being 150 miles.
All right, I'm about an hour in. I just realized that in about a couple of days, I'm about to have an hour left. Let's go, baby.
I was gunning just outside of Lyman on the side of I-70. It started hailing pretty bad out in the plains.
Probably have some bruises.
Luckily, my mother and the support crew were not too far along, so I just ripped it for about 10 minutes to get to them to find cover. I mean, my helmet was getting clocked by hail. In 2020, I decided to draw a heart around the city of Denver, and I did a route that was 150 miles, and that was the longest ride up to that point. Day one matched that. Day two came with some barriers. I woke up in the morning, remember just feeling pretty good, feeling like, okay, my legs are sore, but I've been here before. Nothing I can't push through. The goal was start in Denver and head up to Georgetown. My buddy John met me in Golden about 20 miles into day two. He rode up Lookout Mountain with me. And that was nice to have some company, because that was definitely the first climb of the trip, and that was hard. It was a beautiful ride. You overlooked the city, you overlooked Golden, you overlooked the School of Mines. After I just did Kansas to Denver, it felt like I was on my bike for the first time. So recognizable from a scenic standpoint, but unrecognizable from an effort standpoint. I would see other cyclists that normally I feel like I would pass, and they were smoking me. I just had to do an internal dialogue with myself and say, hey, you're on your own journey here. Don't sweat the fact that a 75-year-old man is smoking you. He's on fresh legs, potentially, and you're not. I got a flat in Idaho Springs, And at this point, it was about 7, 8 p.m. So we made the decision to rack it for the day. You know, we'll start again tomorrow.
All right, we made it to Georgetown. Unfortunately, I had to improvise a little bit. There was a huge rainstorm.
I had a huge flat.
So I had to get saved. Tomorrow's a new day.
This is what I love about Misogi is that, yes, it's physical, but that was a mental game for me. Day 3 was Georgetown to Vail. You know, that's the heart of the Rockies, more or less. I had another really good friend of mine, Sean, who also did an Ironman of his own. He joined me on the morning of day 3. I didn't even realize that day 3 encompassed Loveland Pass and Vail Pass, which are 2 passes of the triple bypass race that happens every year in Colorado. Day 3 was not only the hardest day, but arguably it was the most beautiful day from a scenic standpoint and from an internal standpoint, because that was the day that I realized that this was one of those moments that I had to dig deeper and go to a place that I've only been a couple of times. After we conquered Loveland Pass, beautiful, snowing in July at the top of Loveland Pass. At the bottom of Vail, it was already 6, 7 p.m. at night, and I still had to climb another pass, and I said, okay. I never once had the thought that I was gonna give up on this. I was gonna make it. And I'll tell you why, thankfully I didn't. And this is why I think that there's something else out there saving us and channeling us, helping us. Because on the way down from Vail Pass, I was going maybe 35, 40 miles an hour. I came face to face with a moose. It was twilight, it was beautiful. No one else was on the path. It notices me and starts to trot alongside me. So I was effectively parallel with this moose. Me and my bike against a 2-ton moose. I kind of acted as if I was going towards him. Not actually, but you know, you see me turn my head and kind of going at him a little bit, which seemingly spooked him enough to veer off the path. One thing that kept being said to me by my support team, by my friends, by people texting me, sending me good wishes, was it's all downhill from here. That's a concept that I just keep simmering on because it's true. And it would have been true if I would have driven up to Vail and I was going to Utah. You know, if I would have taken my bike on the back of my car, driven up to Vail, and began the journey to Utah, it would have been all downhill from there as well. But the fact that I spent the last 3 days prior cycling to get to the top of that elevation, it just had a completely different meaning to me. I think about my own life right now, where I'm at, where I'm headed, and I come back to a question, am I at Vail or am I at the border of Kansas and Colorado? Because I know I'm not at the border of Utah and Colorado, of where I'm going. So where am I? Is it all downhill from here? Do I still have so much uphill to go?
I thoroughly thought we were done climbing.
No. If it's not a dirt road, we can go. In addition to trying to conquer this solo, I wanted to raise some funds and raise some awareness for 2 organizations. The first one is the Colorado Children's Campaign. They are a social advocacy organization that focuses on anything Colorado kids. And the second organization was the Colorado Latino Leadership Advocacy and Research Organization, or better known as CLADO. This organization's mission is to advance the interests of the Latino community across the state, advocacy within education, healthcare, and immigration to ensure that Latinos have access to the resources that they need to achieve. So we partnered with both of those organizations. We ended up raising $5,000 to be able to be split. It was really important to me. Not only was I gonna do this, I was going to promote organizations that I care about. Doing a Misogi of your own. If I were someone watching this, find something that you already like to do that can be challenging, and then just take it to the next level.
I just got hit with a serious hailstorm. We made it to Golden. This is John.
What's up, everybody?
He is joining me up Lookout Mountain and providing me amazing company on this lonely road.
Big climb coming up.
Right?
Okay, so this is what we got.
Right now, we're in Georgetown, Colorado, going up Loveland Pass.
What are we seeing right now, man? A little bit of snow?
A little bit of hail. July 2nd. No big deal.
Sean, where are we? We're about almost to the bottom of Loveland Pass. 10 miles in. Woo! Freaking brutal. We did that.
The support crew is also a triathlon in itself, you know?
Where are we right now?
We're in Walcott.
And we're going this way, right?
We're going that way.
I made it to the tip of Glenwood Canyon. And the bike path is closed.
Yeah, it floods during high water, so it's completely underwater.
What do you think? Hey, I'm recording you.
Oh, yeah. We did it.